I never believed in the story. I always considered it a myth used to scare young men. A myth used to make us avoid traveling late at night. To make us avoid that road. I live in a big city with booming nightlife, but nowadays it has become really boring. At least for me and my friends. Now we're looking for new adventures outside the city. New adventures that took us to the Golden Pier. Golden Pier is a small town 20 meters away from our city, really close to the beach and a very relaxed aura. You can go there from sunset and drink by the sea, until sunrise, partying in the really affordable nightclubs. You can find a lot of tourists, so the idea of having a good night and hooking up with somebody from the other side of the world seemed really appealing. I was working on my laptop when a call from my friend Bob rang. He was telling me of a new place at the Golden Pier beach. A lot of cheap drinks and a lot of girls. He was already leaving, so I had to find a way to get there. Everything started at 5 p.m. and the best of all, we were staying at our friend's office. Of course I accepted. I told my father where I was going. He frowned on me, the same way he did when my sister told him she was going out with her lastest boyfriend. "Are you drinking and driving?" he asked me. "Of course not," I told him. "I'm staying there and return tomorrow at noon, I suspect." He kept looking at me shrewdly and asked me again. "Do not take the old road alone late at night," he said. "Do not use that road, use the highway." Since the city had grown so much, the old road between both places had gotten out of use, and was scarcely used. There were no road lights to illuminate it, and a lot of accidents took place. Instead, an 8-lane highway was built in its place that took a longer route, but it was way safer. The old road was only taken by people who lived by it and had no other way to reach using the highway. "Do not start with it again," I began answering my father, but it was too late. He had already started his tale about the bride of the road. Many years ago, there was this really beautiful young girl who was engaged to a mine worker. They agreed to get married the second weekend of July, on the main church of the Golden Pier. But first, he needed to finish an extra shift, so he could spend a bit more on the wedding. Sadly, the final day of his shift, an accident occurred on the mine and he died in it. An uncontrolled explosion and a cave-in. 5 people died, the groom-to-be among them. When she found out about the death of her beloved, she was already waiting for him at the church. Although the news devastated her, she took them calmly. She said no words and walked out of the church, took her car and went to his house. He happened to live in a small house midway between the town and the city, so in the hopes of this news to be lies, or a nightmare she was seeing, she went there to wait for him, and there she waited and waited. Many people tried to convince her that he was dead and was not coming to her, but she refused to listen. With that, she refused to eat, drink. She even refused to take the wedding dress off, saying that when her beloved arrived, she would be ready for him. But as time passed, her sadness grew. In the end, she decided to wait by the side of the road. "Perhaps he cannot see me," she said. In time, her body could not withstand the burden, and she died. "I know the legend," I said. "That's just a story to scare us off. Everybody knows that." "It's not a legend," he replied. "Your uncle saw her, and his friend Mark had a car accident because of her. His brother Luke died on that crash. That accident was because he drank and drove," I said with a bit of impatience. "No. They saw her standing on the road, and then out of nowhere she was in the back seat of the car. Pearly white, empty eye sockets, asking if they had seen her fiancé, asking if they had seen Michael. They got paralyzed, and then she smiled, a diabolical smile, something impossible for a human. It went from ear to ear with pointed teeth, and then she told Luke, 'You look like Michael. You are my Michael. I've been waiting for you, my love. Why did you make me wait?' That last part was a screech. Then they crashed. Luke was nowhere to be found, and Mark was badly injured. I've heard that story many times, I replied. Luke disappeared in the accident. You cannot say that a wailing spirit or a banshee ghost took him. Many others have seen her, he insisted. Look, son, this is serious. Promise me you guys are not taking that road late at night. Yes, Dad, we're not going that way. Truth be told, this legend is famous in our city area. Many people believe it to be true, but I don't believe in ghosts, phantoms, werewolves, the devil, Tinkerbell, or Michael Jackson. Those are stories to scare children, so I took no concern on that and went to have the night of my life. When I arrived at the Golden Pier, everything was on fire. The drinking, the girls, the music. I had only one issue on my mind. My friend Bob told me that his friend had a problem at home and we couldn't stay there. We had to return to the city. I was uneasy not because we couldn't stay. I was uneasy because we had to return late at night. I didn't believe the stories, and in any case, we would use the highway. But still, I had a bad feeling. Looking back, I should have drunk so much, nor mixed beer with rum, with tequila, to impress that Austrian girl. But there I was, stumbling around trying to find my way back to my friend's car. With empty pockets and having thrown up twice, we were going back home. It was around 2 a.m. and it was better to go now than later, or so we thought. Bob only drank a few beers, so we decided that he was the responsible one to drive. I dozed off. When I came back, I felt the wind on my face, ruffling my hair, and the soft sound of Hey Jude by the Beatles. I couldn't see a lot, which I thought was because of my drunken state. Then I realized that something was not right. No lights outside. We were on the old road. Bob, what you doing? This road's dangerous. There are no streetlights here, I said. This one is closer to the sea. It's better than the highway, he replied. No, it's not. Seriously, let's get back and take the highway. I felt it, and Bob must have felt it too. There was a hint of fear in my voice. I didn't know why. I couldn't explain it, or at least, I didn't want to accept it. Are you afraid? Do not tell me you believe in that stupid legend, he mocked me. I don't. This road is just too dangerous. Don't be a chicken, he said. Look, there's light ahead. Indeed, there was a light by the right side of the road, an almost blinding pure white light that slowly intensified until the point that we cannot see. Then it happened. The temperature dropped suddenly. It was chilling. Bob felt it too, because I looked at him and his lips were purple. But something worse made me turn back to the road. Bob's eyes widened beyond what I could expect was humanly possible and pointed outside. There she was, a woman, about 6 feet tall, all dressed in a pearly white wedding dress looking at us. Or at least that seemed to be doing while we drove by her with her empty eye sockets, turning her head and following us with that stare until we left her behind. Did you see that? I told Bob. Did you see it? I thought it was a lie. Bob was not responding. Bob, snap out of it! Come on, you're driving! I yelled, but Bob was looking at his rearview mirror, transfixed on what he was seeing. Then I remembered and turned around, wishing not to see what I was sure I was about to. There she was, sitting in the middle seat, looking, just looking, but not looking at Bob. She was staring at me. She got closer and closer and whispered to me, "You look like Michael. You are my Michael." I could not believe it, but I knew what was going to happen. I've been waiting for you, my love. Why did you make me wait? Time seemed to stop. I couldn't move while her mouth turned to an awful grin. an inhuman grin with pointed teeth from ear to ear. Then slowly, she reached for my arms and grabbed me with such a grip that no living person could ever have. My arms, the places where she touched me, seared with pain. It felt like I was burning. I lost my sight, but then I heard a rasping voice in my right ear. "You are coming with me. We will be happy forever after." I heard a thunderous sound and knew no more. That was... I don't know how long ago. It can't be more than a few moments ago, maybe an hour. Blood still dripping from my forehead, and I still feel the burning in my arms. I'm sitting on an old stuffed chair in an empty room. There's no light but the moon outside. It lights dimly through the window. I start to see what's around me. Many chairs, just like the one I'm sitting. 20 of them. And there's people sitting on them. I can't stand up. Wait, I can't even move. I'm fully paralyzed from the neck down. Try to calm yourself. See if there's anything you can do. Talk to these people. Is anyone out there? Can anybody hear me? What's going on with these people? My eyes are getting accustomed to the light and... No, it cannot be. They're all... dead? 20 stuffed chairs with 20 human remains. All of them seem to be the same height and age. And I am the last one on the list. And now, I know what's going to happen to me. I hear footsteps, or maybe something gliding over the floor. Small doors opening, and the light blinds me. We will be happy ever after, my love. Finally, I have found you again. And this time, we will be together forever. This time, you want to leave.